Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this half star illusion card, which was designed by Iced Images. If you look from the top here, you can see the 3 points of the star here. Okay, and the illusion is that the ribbon looks as if it's going all the way through these, and it doesn't. So I'm going to show you how that is done. I've put butterflies on mine. These two are adhered to the actual cardstock, but these are all floating, and the card folds flat for posting. This is a 7x5 card. It can't really be converted to A2 size or A4 size because it would be so small. It would be for A4 cardstock, it would be 4 1/8 by 5 3/4, which, you know, is really small. And I believe the American size is even smaller than that, something like 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I imagine somebody could do it, but I think this is a good size. Anyway, this is what I'm going to make today, this design. This is another one I've done using different kinds of papers. Okay, basically the same design. It's just that I've used the Europeach Designer Series paper and Calypso Coral. I still use the same ribbon, which is pale petal, whatever. Let me have a look at my petal pink. And although it's not noted that it actually goes with this, I think it does. I think that blends in lovely, and it is also petal pink on this one as well with the copper. I did try my very first one, my prototype. Because I wasn't happy about using the ribbons, I didn't realise this one was I didn't realise this is still current, okay, at the moment. So I tried it with paper, and I fancy cut that one, embossed that, but it's just far too thick. Really is it's too thick and clunky. So that's why I went on to the foil one, and the foil one is the one I'm going to do today because I have an idea that I want to try at the end. Okay, so I'm going to start off by telling you the cardstock pieces that you're going to need. Now I'm going to give you inches, which is suitable for whatever size cardstock you use, and I will also put in the metric measurements as well. Okay, so to start off with, you need a piece of basic black which measures 5 by 7, but this must not be scored. Okay, you need a flat sheet. Then you need a piece that's 5 by 5, that's basic black. This has got to be scored on the wrong side. I'm writing myself little notes here to remember. And one important thing for you is when you're cutting your cardstock, now I haven't checked this myself, but make sure your 5 inches is the same as that 5 inches, because you're going to be laying one on top of the other. Well, that's lucky. Oh, just about. It's better to use it that way. Then you need one piece of basic black, which measures 6 inches by 2 inches. Then you need 2 pieces that measure 2 inches by 6.5 inches. Then you need some copper foil, which measures 3.25 inches by 4 3/4 inches. And this is what our copper foil looks like. Again, this is available. And then you need 4 more pieces of copper foil, and these should measure 2 1/8 inches by 4 5/8 inches. This piece is for the sentiment to go on. I'm going to do the sentiments with you, but I'm not going to actually adhere them to my card, but you'll see why. The sentiment layer is 1 1/16 of an inch by 4 1/16 of an inch. The 1/16 is the first black mark after the 1 and after the 4. It's a small black line, okay? So that's quite easy to find, I think. You will also need some strips of acetate for your butterflies. Now, I recommend these measure 3/8 of an inch wide by approximately 4 or 5 inches. All of my butterflies are already on my acetate already, so that was just to show you. Then you need 3 pieces of ribbon, and this ribbon is called Organdy Striped Ribbon, and it is in petal pink. What else do you need? You will also need a scrap of basic black, and this is for the sentiment if you're doing the same colours as my one. Okay, so I'm going to put these, no, I don't need to be reminded about that one, do I? Right, so what we're going to do to start off with is, oh no, hold on, I've forgotten, we need some designer series paper, and that's on here. Now this is called Simply Elegant, and this is, I love this design, really absolutely love it, it's gorgeous. And you need 2 pieces that measure 3 1/8 inches by 4 5/8 inches, and then you need 4 pieces that measure 2 1/8 inches by 4 5/8 inches. Now these 4 here, let me check, I actually cut these off of one long piece so the design is continuous. Now it doesn't really matter, but I thought as I'm actually doing it from one piece, I'm going to number mine. So I numbered it on the back 1, 2, 3, 4, and then when I put them on here I numbered them 1, 2, 3, 4, so they can follow through. Whether somebody would ever notice that or not, I don't know, but you may have a design that would benefit from that. I found it particularly benefited with my stripes, because I've used my stripes horizontally and they're not even stripes, so I numbered them 1, 2, 3, 4, so they do actually follow all around. The easy way with stripes is to use them going downwards, then unless you get them crooked nobody would know. Right, so you know that piece is not going to be scored. I'm going to use my scoring board. Okay, now with this piece you need to score it at, now I am going to use this scoring tool because this one is what you get if you buy a scoring board. Okay, and for certain jobs I really do think it's worthwhile. Right, now this one you're going to score at 2 1/2 inches. That's all that one needs. And then your piece that you have that's 6 inches, this one, this is where I think the scoreboard comes into its own. All these measurements are really absolutely spot on. So it's 1 1/2, 3 inches, 4 1/2 inches, and then you're to the end. Now the others, you've got 2 pieces, these are 6 1/2 inches, so again 1 1/2 inches, 3 inches, 4 1/2 inches, and then 6 inches, and do both of those the same. 1 1/2, 3, 4, and 6. Now that's all I need my scoring board for. Now I am going to fold and burnish. Now I said to score on the wrong side because we're going to fold, we always, yes that's right, we fold inwards, so that means that is going to be the front of your card. Okay, if you do it the other way round, which is what I did on, I think it was my peach card, you don't get such a nice fold. Sorry about that. Okay, so that's the inside of my card. Pop that on that side, and now these all need to be burnished. Always make sure, obviously, that they're lining up beautifully. You don't want a wonky box. Don't know what it would do to your card. Okay, so just fold them all the same way so that you can make a box out of it. Same goes with the other one. Only this time what you want to do is you've got to fold the tab as well. So 2 of these have got the little tabs on, and they're the boxes that go between the 2 cards, so to speak. Now the first job we need to do after this is to adhere the ribbon. Now one of the problems with adhering cardstock is it doesn't like being glued onto other cardstock and then being bent round the corner. There's a slight difference in the distance it has to go. It's a bit like going round a roundabout. If you're on the inside, you travel a shorter distance than the person on the outside, which is what the paper does with this. Does that make sense? I hope so. Does to me. Right, we need this now, and I don't think there is a right and wrong side, although one side does look a bit more shiny to me. So what I'm going to use, I'm using my snail because I still have snail, but if you have seal, that would do just as well. Or you could use very thin red tape if you've got it. But I'm finding that this is working well, and I'm just going down very slowly. It won't put complete snail all the way over it, but I do find that it puts enough to make it glue to my cardstock. And then I'm going down the other side, and the reason I'm doing it with my silicone mat underneath is because that, like where it's got glue there, it's very easy just to rub off and get rid of. Okay, so a nice little like that, and that can go into that rubbish bin. Okay, so that one's done. I'm going to do all 3 of these at the same time. I think it'll be okay. I've never done that before with snail. Don't know how long it takes to dry out, but I'm not going to be that long. So okay, I'm going to do the 3rd one. Yep, that's still coming out. Now the end pieces are actually going to be glued down, so that's no worries. I just test it every now and again to make sure it has put enough glue on there to hold it down for me. Come on, don't fight. There we go. Right, I think that's the right side. The biggest challenge, I think, of this card is making sure your ribbon is in the same position on all 3 boxes. But I think I've got a way to show you that it's going to be a walk in the park. Okay. Otherwise, my name's not JanB. Right. Okay. So what I'm going to do, it doesn't matter which one I start with. It doesn't matter if I start with one. In fact, let's start with this one. It's probably easier to demonstrate. I'm starting with the one without any tabs on the end. So what I want to do is I want to approximately get that in the middle. It doesn't matter if I don't, as long as I get it in the same position as the other ones. Okay. Will you stay down there for me? Okay, so we've got, it should be 8 squares here. Yep. So let's pop this down. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the halfway line there. Okay. So pop it down in the middle. That's touching that line there. So is that, so whether that's exactly halfway or not, I don't know, but I'm going to just double check with my nice So Easy ruler. So that's the light shining, I can't really see it. Okay, so the 1 inch is just above. Yep, that's lovely. I am very happy with that. Now you can see I've cut my ribbon a bit too long, so I'm going to cut these pieces off, which goes to show you can make your ribbon shorter than what I've recommended. It doesn't matter that it's not coming to the end there, and it doesn't matter that it's not coming to the end there. I didn't mean to cut that much off, but never mind. You'll see why I didn't mean to. Okay, so this is going to be my guide now. I'm going to put it that way because I think that is the deeper end, that's more narrow, which is what happened on that one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, and this is why I didn't mean to cut all of it off. I wanted my ribbon to go up there, but never mind. So this is the next one. I'm going to line up on here. I'm going to line this one on top. We don't need the ribbon going on that tab. Okay, so I'm going to put that there to hold them both down. And let's just put the scissors on the end to make sure that stays down as well. That's good. So let's take the next bit of ribbon, and I am going to make sure that this is lining up with this. Now that looks as if it is, so first of all I am going to check with my ruler, make sure I've got that even. I don't think I have. That's on the three, whoops, get off. Three quarters, three quarters, three quarters. You are going up very slightly. That looks better. Dear. Oh, that's a bit lower. How can it be? Yes, it is. There we go. Okay, so I folded the tab down, moved up, so you can see that that does actually carry on straight. Now that's okay, I'm not worried about that. I will just cut the end off of this bit. I'm using my non-stick scissors for this rather than my ribbon scissors, because I don't want to get my ribbon scissors gummed up with snail. Okay, so go in there. So the last one, in fact I'm going to do it with this one as well. Put the tab over, line it up. And that's going down slightly, isn't it? Okay. And last one. You see, I am only eyeballing this. I'm just checking it with my ruler. And snail's very forgiving. There we go, that's on 3/4 mark. That's coming down a bit. Let's try that. Nope, you've got to go a bit more. You see, this is really where I struggle, because to me that looks like a straight line. But my ruler says something different. So let's just make sure that there we go. That's alright. Okay, so you can see that that one does line up. Make sure that one lines up. Yes. And that one. Okay. Tad out, possibly, but that's fine. Oh, let's cut this bit off as well. So what we're going to do next is, before we start putting all our layers on, I like to get these boxes closed just to give Tombow a chance to work its magic. You could use Seal Plus, you could use red sticky strip, whatever your favourite glue is. As you know, I'm an out and out Tombow fan. So with these two, lay it over so you've got the first square and the tab rather. Just put some glue on there, bring that over to close. Okay, so that's your first box. Now, first square and the tab. If you like yours to be precise, then mark your card stock exactly where you've got to put your ribbon to make sure it's straight. And I say that because when we put these on the card, Iced Images said when you've got to use the edge where you've got your seam and do it so that you've got that tab on the bottom here. Well, I don't. My tab is on the bottom on this one, but it's on this side on that one, and I can't change it over because mine aren't actually in the centre. In fact, it's a good job there's a whole card between those two because they don't look very even at all, but that's okay, they do. So this is going to work. Now we don't need to do anything with this one, but this one we are going to start adhering our layers. Now that's my inside, so that's numbers 2 and 3. So I'm going to start off with layer number 1, just so that my patterns follow through. Okay, so number 1. Again, you use whichever is your preference for adhesive. I hope for those who are watching this, who are my customers, I really hope you've received your new catalogue and details of the paper share that I'm doing, paper share, ribbon share and gem share. If you're not one of my customers and would like to be, please email me and I'll be delighted to send you a catalogue and the details of the paper share if that's what you're interested in. My email address is janb@janbcards.com, and if you are if you're the customer of another demonstrator and they're not doing a paper share and you would like to join mine, please email me again the details of email me and I'll send you the details of the paper share, ribbon share and the gem share. It does save you an absolute fortune and it gives you the opportunity to have a bit of everything. And you can choose which shares you want to take part in. You know, if you only want the gems, that's fine. If you want all 3, that's fine. Mix and match, whatever. If you want to make an order with you and a friend so that you can share, that's fine. If you want to make a double order for yourself or for you and a friend, that's fine. But whatever happens is you email me once you know what it is that you want, and I will work out the cost so that, because I don't need you to pay 2 lots of delivery if I can get it all into one parcel, which I can with a lot of it. So I will keep the delivery charge down to absolute minimum for you. I don't like paying them and I don't think other people like paying them either. Right, now I'm on my unscored 5x7 sheet, and these haven't been cut on the same level as each other, so I'm not bothered which way these go. There is also another brilliant offer coming out from Stampin' Up for people who would like to join Stampin' Up. Now, I've only read it very quickly, I haven't actually taken it all on board. But basically, apart from the usual cost, which in UK is £99 and in Europe €129, and for that you get your usual choice of products to the value of £130 or €175. But during this offer, not sure which is the easiest way to do this, don't think there's a right and wrong way, you also get £62.50 worth of new in colour products. I can't list out what all the products are, but it will be on my blog the day this video goes live, which will be the 1st of May. If you're in a different market from UK and Europe, please contact your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator to find out the details. But it is an absolutely amazing offer. For £99 you're getting almost £200 worth of products. I'm very happy to have people join my team as hobbyists, and now people who join just to get the discount on their products. Really does make sense. If you'd like to know more, again, email me, JanB at janbcards.com. Now, we're going to add these boxes on, so I'm going to stop talking and concentrate. Now, if the gap here should be 1/4 inch, which for me it is about 3/16 of an inch. So I'm just going to eyeball this. It's quite handy, in fact, that's because mine's crooked, isn't it? You can see that one. I wonder if that's too dry. Better not do that with a, might leave an indentation. Okay, I'm not going to try and force that. Just to put a pencil mark down here to see where these two boxes have got to line up. Let's put that in the middle. This is what's 3.5, so that's there. That is what the middle should be. Oops, a bit out there, aren't I? So I'm just going to do a little line there. It won't be seen, but it will help me to line up. Especially important as I've... don't know, can you see that? Well, there is a pencil line there. Right, so what I'm going to do first is on my box, any box, it doesn't matter, except I want my narrow bit at the top rather than that. So, okay, and that's that side. So I'm going to put glue all over this side, and then I'm going to adhere it down halfway up to that line and halfway so you've got the same gap, top and bottom. Okay. As long as your boxes are the same height, if one is, you've got more gap there than that gap, it doesn't matter as long as the boxes are the same. If they're not, you're going to lose the effect of the illusion of the ribbon going through. So narrow, right, this one. And when I do this, I do make sure that I put glue on the actual ribbon, just to make sure that that helps to keep it nice and tight. Okay, so take that, I'm going to put it up to that line, and then move that up a bit. I think that looks about right. As I say, as long as I get the other one the same, that'll be fine. And that gap there looks as if it's equal to me. Does that look a bit better? Yes. Now that looks equal. Right, now I'm going to do the same on this one. Find the fold, the seam there. I've got the narrow one at the top, so I want to put glue on this one. Okay, so I'm going to line that up with that one, right up against it. Make sure that that is straight. same gap, top and bottom, straight there. My ribbons are lining up. I think that looks alright. So once Tombow has had a chance to get a grip on that, you should have 2 boxes. Okay, see how they're lining up? That wasn't too difficult, was it? Okay, so that's part of your star. They're the ones at the back there. Okay, now we need to adhere this piece onto here. Okay, so that goes in there, which is why it was important to make sure this height is the same as the height of this. You don't want to have bits sticking over. So I am going to now, and this one, it takes a little bit of time for Tombow to get a grip of it, and I think it's because I'm using foil here. I didn't have so much of an issue with the Peach cardstock, which is regular paper. Okay, so I'm going to do one side at a time. Again, I'm going to put glue on my ribbon. There we go. I'm going to line this on here. I'm going to hold it down on the underneath piece. I'm lining my seam up to the gap between those 2 boxes. Make sure I'm keeping this straight, which I'm not. No surprises there. Okay, so now I'm going to bring it over, and I am going to double check that I have got this straight. Okay, let me just lift this up so I can see. Yes, that's good. Okay, so give Tombow a little bit of time. Okay, I'm going to hold that down while I do this next side. Okay. Now this is going to push that one over. Okay, so let it push it over, that's fine, but make sure it still stays straight. There is a lot of thickness here for this to get comfortable with, shall we say. Yeah, alright, it's popping off, see, because I let go. There we go, it's all lining up nicely here, nicely here. Let's just give Tombow a helping hand here. Okay, so very carefully. And you just need to make sure that it will close down. Okay. You might feel it move, which I just did with that. Again, I'm sure it's because I've got foil on here, it's not gripping too well. But it will do, it's gripped on the other one, that's fine. That's it. That's it. Okay, I think we're there. You happy now? Yes, of course you are. Right, okay, so this one we are going to be sticking onto a card like that. Now one of the things I always find with all of these cards I've made is these overlap. Okay, so I do cut a bit off. And on this occasion, doesn't matter if I do or don't cut a straight line, as long as I cut off the bit that's causing the clip. So look at that. Yes, that's good. Okay, you can see I've cut quite a way away from there, but that's okay. It will work. So Was this one at a time or both? I think one at a time. If it's one at a time, then that gives us a chance to check our ribbons, make sure our boxes are lining up and making sure our ribbons are. Okay, I can't really remember whether it was doing both sides at once or not. So I'm going to do one side. I might be right, might be wrong, but if it helps me get my ribbons looking as if they're just flowing straight the way through, then I'm very happy. Okay, so we need, oh, not that way, I need that narrow bit at the top. So I'm going to put it there so that the edge, let me do this so you can see what I'm doing. I'm making this edge go towards that fold line. Now I'm going to go out to make sure that this is lining up and that my ribbon is continuing. Okay, so that does look good. Now I'm going to go out and I am going to put glue on this one. I can't go too far on the edge of this one because this is the one that I cut short by the looks of things. So now I'm going to fold that in, come over, make sure my card is nice and flat, and then put that down. Just going to use my ruler to make sure that all my ribbons are lining up. Yep, that looks good from where I am. Yep, that works for me. Okay, so that's your card. Quite easy, wasn't it? It's easy to start moving it about once you're happy that the glue is actually dry. This one isn't, obviously, but this one should be dry now. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to leave that to... No, I'm not going to leave it to rest, am I? Yes, I will do. Next I'm going to show you a quick bit of heat embossing. I'm not going to adhere the sentiment on, but I do want to show you how I do it. Right, okay, I've put scrap for sentiment, of course, 1.5 inches by 4.5 inches approximately. So the stamp that I'm using is this Happy Birthday, and it comes from this stamp set, Celebrate with Flowers, which is actually retiring on Tuesday, which is a shame. It's not often that we get nice vertical, well, it's not often we get vertical sentiments. I hadn't seen it in a catalogue, to be honest, but I saw somebody using it and I thought, oh, got to have that. So I only bought it a month or two ago, but it is one of those that I will keep in my stash. Right, now to do heat embossing you need to use an embossing buddy on here. This is my new one, and I find that I can paint over with this without making this go all very white. I've forgotten the brand. I'll put the name in the... Oh, it's EK Tools. I'm not sure, this might have had to come from America. I can check that up and I'll try and remember to put the details in the box below. So I have my stamp, I have my Versamark here. Now my Versamark is very well used. It's a bit dirty, very dirty, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm going to stamp that there. Okay, so that looks alright. And then I'm going to dip this into my box with copper embossing powder. These boxes do take up a lot of room. I think I've got 7 of them altogether. But if you've got the space, it's so easy to do. Okay, now I'm not going to tap this off on my table, but I'm sure you can hear what I'm doing there. Okay, so that looks good. So pop that away. I don't want that being blown all over the place while I'm doing heat embossing. Now this is going, oh, what's happened here? Right, okay. This is going to take a little bit of noise. If you haven't seen heat embossing before, this never fails to intrigue me. I love watching this. So bear with me for the noise. It doesn't last long. Okay, isn't that just absolutely brilliant? Either I didn't heat emboss that properly, or I didn't put enough powder on it, or knocked too much off. That looks better. Okay, so now that will be die cut using, now I think these are retiring as well if I remember rightly, ornate layers. That is absolutely brilliant for that. So this will not be retiring from my stash. Yeah, I showed you that. And then for the butterflies, which I'm not actually going to do, but I'm going to show you how. The butterflies I've used are these two here, which are from Brilliant Wings, which you get all of those dies for that. Okay, so this is the two that I've used. And I'm also going to use the butterfly from Meadow, which is this one here. I thought it was nice to find a little butterfly flying sideways rather than full on. I mean, there is another butterfly in that one as well. I didn't check up on that as well. To know whether these are retiring or not, if you don't see it in the list below, that means it's retiring. There's no point. No, that doesn't, because you've still got until Tuesday to buy. It will still be below. Forget that. I'll put it on my blog whether they're retiring or not. My blog is www.janbcards.com. So I need that. I'm going to bring my Big Shot over to die cut my sentiment, but I've left something on my Big Shot to remind me to tell you something. No, I don't need that. Don't need that. Right. Oh, too close to my tripod. Oh, by the way, I don't know whether I told you last week. You don't know last week? I don't know. But when the new catalogue goes live on the 3rd of May, you will also be able to buy the new magnetic plate for the cut and emboss. So you probably won't be seeing my Big Shot again. I won't be getting rid of it. I love it. Right, when you're die cutting these two, let me get the two dies that I'm actually referring to. This one isn't so bad, but I'd still do the same for that. But these two here, I find it difficult to get them out of the die without using my paper piercer to push through the hole. Well, when you do that, you invariably make a hole in your butterfly, which isn't really the look you're going for. So I always put a piece of wax paper on there, and then all I need to do is put my, let me show you. I'm sitting here with these talking, I might as well demonstrate it, mightn't I? I wasn't planning to, but never mind. I'm a visual learner, so I understand when others say that they prefer learning by watching. Right, so that and that. Okay, so just tap it and it's out. It will fight you to try and get this bit off, but it doesn't take too much. You just gently put your paper pierce into it and it'll scrape off. Okay, it's much better than getting holes in your butterflies. Let's put the 3 on there so I don't lose those. Did I take the one out for my sentiment? Yes, I thought I had. I put it over there with it, didn't I? Oh, here with it, yep, okay. So let's die cut this. I didn't think I was going to have time to do this, but time's going really well at the moment. Right, okay. Okay, so that's my sentiment, and this is my copper foil, which I've measured so that it fits on beautifully. Okay, that's lovely, I like that. Right, put that one there. I don't think I'm going to be needing this again. Now what I need to do next is put my butterflies on here. Now what I've done ahead of time is I've put my butterflies on my pieces. As you can see, some of these pieces are really quite thin, which is why I know it's better to have them that 3/8 of an inch wide. I've had quite a battle with some of the glue dots. Now I'm not planning to use this one. Let's use this one here. So what I do to adhere these onto here, I just take one glue dot, and this is what speeds up your process. You could probably get away with having this 1/4 of an inch wide, but then you've got to be very careful to make sure that you get your butterfly absolutely spot on. Okay, so I am going to put him at an angle. Okay, so when he's on my card, he's like that. Okay, so that's what I've already done to all of these. I'm going to follow the same pattern that I have with this card. Okay, so what I started off with, baby here, and that's a short baby. So what I do is I measure where I want it to go, see if I've got any, I don't know if you can see that, if I've got any, yes you can, see that I've got acetate coming out of there. So what I do is I hold it there and cut that bit off. I'm not always really, I had scissors, that's it. I'm not always really precise on this. In fact, I think the only thing you really need to be precise on here is first the ribbon on the boxes and then the boxes in order. Okay, so I've got my butterfly there. Glue dots. I'm going to put one right at the bottom because I know that's not coming out from underneath my box, and the other one about 1 inch up. Okay, and that way it will not come up above my box. Okay, he's quite low, so that's good. Now the next one I'm having is this one. The one's flying sideways, and I don't want him to interfere with this. The other thing you need to watch is that it doesn't come over the top here. Okay, right, now that's there. So that's that one. Again, 2 glue dots. One right at the bottom, another one about 1 inch up. I'm going to put him in there where I want him to go. I'm making sure he's coming up to the fold, not over it. And the next one is another baby. So we have the baby here. And he should be, have we got one that's flying sideways? Are you going sideways? Not much, but that'll do. Okay, so we have you there, a bit higher than the other one. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so that's where we need to trim it. You wouldn't know the agony I went through last night trying to work out the best way to get this done without any frustration, shall I say. we go. Okay, so it's one at the end, one there. I don't know whether I was off screen for the other ones. Sorry if I was. Okay, so that one can go there. And then I've got a big one. Let's keep to the ones with the fat. Yeah, with the wider acetate strip on it. But that might be too wide, mightn't it? Yes, let's use the less wide one. I think the baby should have been moved over a bit, but never mind. Okay, so yeah, okay. Now the problem is with this one, it is not wide enough. Well, you can get a glue dot on it, but it's let me try. Oh, I did that. Okay, let's try another one about an inch up. Thing is, if it comes over the slightest bit, it could very well make your cards get stuck together, closed. And I do know my 7x5 envelopes will allow me a little bit of leave room for my butterflies to come slightly up the top. Where's the... Alright, okay, you've stuck yourself down already. Okay. No, that isn't okay actually. Let me see. No, that's definitely not okay. I'm putting pressure on this to try and get that glue dot, the top one, to ping off. Now this is a first for me. Oh, that's it. I was edging my finger down closer towards where the glue dot was. Now I may bring it over. Ah, that's it. That's better. There we go. Yeah, that's okay. It's closer than I would have wanted them, but that's fine. Now on this one, I've got a... Oh, are you a big one? Yes. And I stick them on this front panel here. So you can go anywhere. Let's just find out where we got to trim you. That's quite a big piece. I doubt if it'll be useful for anything, but I don't want to think about it at the moment. So there's one, about an inch up. That's a generous inch, that one. And then put that one in there. There we go. And then, what do we have this side? Oh, we had 3 babies in there. Okay. And you can stay quite high as well. So you can come off there. Okay, so one right at the bottom, one about an inch up. That's on the wrong side. Right, instead of messing about here, I'm going to use this one instead. Put it a bit lower. So I'm going to roll this. Okay, so if you want to use your scraps, which is what I was doing here, this is how you can get away with using very, very thin bits. Not ideal when I'm making a video, but never mind. I mean, you could use something like tape or Tombow, but there's a huge risk that you're going to get some glue on the inside there, and that will glue your card shut. Right, let's move that out of the way. That's all right. I'm going to go back to that big one that's bugging me. I'm not happy with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take that one out. I'm going to pull it slowly because I don't want a big rip in my card. Ah, that's it. Okay. So I'd much rather be one short rather than having that clicking against each other. Oh, I needed two more here, didn't I? Because I've put some down here. So we will have one of these sideways ones. Dogmo. I just didn't want the bottom here to be totally plain. And that one's not part of the set really, is it? Let's have you. Will you come off nice and easy? Probably not. Okay. Yep, you did. Well done. Obviously this one's still a bit sticky where that glue dot was. Okay, so apart from adhering this on, my card is finished. But I have another idea for this card. And this is an experiment. I don't know whether this is going to work or not. But I'm going to try it in front of you, okay? If I fail, I fail. Okay? I don't mind. But what I thought was, this is a half star illusion card. So I thought to myself, well, why don't you make it a full card illusion card? That's quite easy, just put it on the back there. Now don't you think that's an absolute wow card? I think that's absolutely fabulous. Now, what I would do for this, because I've got my happy birthday on the front there, which is why I didn't want to put another one on the back, is several options for where you write your message. First of all, I would be inclined to put some panels down here. I'd put one there and one there to whoever the person is and anything that you'd want to say, and then from whoever, hugs and loves and kisses and whatever. That's how I would do it. So when it's up on your shelf, or the recipient's shelf, that's what they see. Okay, so that's what I'm going to try and do. Bear with me. Oh, another idea I thought, instead of having that for the writing the sentiment, what you could do is, I would recommend that you use tape to do this if you want to do it, but you could tape it so that it's just that section up there, that section up there, and then leave an opening, so you put a tag in there with a ribbon on it, because it needs to go into the envelope, so that the person knows, pull that tab out, that's where the greeting is, and then that will still sit on the shelf. Okay, so that's another idea for you. But let me pop this together. Now this should lay down by itself. I've brought some clothes pegs over with me so that I can peg these together to get them to dry. And of course it will fold up to go into an envelope. The back will fold, the front will fold. But I think this is absolutely stunning. I hope you do too. Okay, now it shouldn't take too long to get this lined up back to back. Okay, so that's that. Bring in my clothes pegs, put them there. I'm trying not to pinch on the foil. Cardstock will be fine to peg onto. Oh my goodness, don't you think this is just absolutely we go. Oh, goodness me. Right, I'll put the, I finished now, so what I'm going to do is I will put those back on afterwards just to make sure that they do get stuck. Now, it doesn't matter that I've only got the 3 there, but I have my card like this. Oh, I love it, I love it. So, there we go. Many thanks for joining me today. I hope you love this. Really do. Now, this one I'm going to lay down so you can see from the front what we've done. Okay, and I'll leave that one standing up because it's a star card. Okay, so many thanks for joining me today. I hope you love this as much as I do. As I say, many thanks to Iced Images for the idea. If you'd like to purchase any of these products from my shop, you need to shop a lot of them by the 2nd of May. Some of them are being carried forward, and I'll put the details of that. In fact, I could add it to the list below. Whether if it's retiring, I'll put retiring by the side of it. I can do that. But please remember to add the HOSTESS code to your order, assuming you're ordering through, well, it must be May because it's May today. And then when I send you Happy Mail at the beginning of June, Happy Mail is always a handmade thank you card from me with an envelope unused so that you can use it, and also a handmade thank you gift. I can also send you some free product too. Okay, so that's win-win. That's assuming you don't already have a demonstrator that you work with. All the measurements, inches and metric, will be in the box below. List of all the ingredients for this one will be in the box below. This one will be on my blog. And don't forget, if you're interested in my paper, gems and ribbon share, any one of them, all 3 of them, any 2 of them, whatever, please email me at janb@janbcards.com. If you'd like to know more about the amazing joining offer that Stampin' Up will have from 3rd of May, again, please email me. I'd love to send you the information, and I really welcome hobbyists to join my team, and there are people who join just to get the discount on their products, not interested in demonstrating or anything like that, and that's fine. You're very welcome. I'd love to have you join me. So many thanks for being with me today. I look forward to reading your comments, and I look forward to seeing you next week. In the meantime, please take care and stay safe. Happy crafting. Cheerio.